Imagine a city where the traffic lights blink yellow because there's no traffic to control, where entire neighborhoods have been erased from the map, not by war, but by sheer abandonment, where you can walk for blocks without seeing another soul. Welcome to 2026. The American landscape is shifting beneath our feet. While some cities are booming, others are facing an existential crisis, driven by failing infrastructure, relentless climate disasters, and the remote work doom loop. A new wave of migration is turning once great metropolises into modern-day ruins. I'm your host, and this is Tourgraphy. Today we are touring the Decay to uncover the 10 US cities that are fast becoming ghost towns in 2026, and the city at number 1 might just be beyond saving. We start our journey in the Southwest with number 10, Gallup, New Mexico. For decades, this town was the heartbeat of Route 66 and a titan of the coal industry. But in 2026, a heavy silence is falling over the high desert. As the United States aggressively pivots toward renewable energy, towns like Gallup, which relied entirely on coal mining and transport, have had their economic engines cut. The jobs are gone, and the workers are following them to Albuquerque or Arizona. What's left is a shell of a transport hub struggling to find a new identity in a green economy. It's not just a shrinking city, it's a community slowly fading into the sand. Moving east to the Arkansas Delta, we find number 9, Pine Bluff. Once the agricultural capital of the state, Pine Bluff is now the poster child for a phenomenon known as brain drain. Since the early 2000s, the city has lost nearly a third of its population. The tragedy here isn't just the numbers, it's who is leaving. Young, educated residents leave for college and never come back. When you combine that with one of the highest violent crime rates per capita in the nation, you have a city that is rapidly aging and shrinking. In 2026, entire blocks of Pine Bluff are being surrendered to nature, creating a rural ghost town right in the middle of an urban grid. California is usually associated with booming real estate, but number 8, Stockton, tells a darker story. Known for its historic bankruptcy in 2012, Stockton is now facing a different kind of threat: the commuter collapse. Stockton thrived as a bedroom community for Silicon Valley, but with the tech industry continuing its massive shift to remote work and layoffs in 2025, the supercommuter is becoming an endangered species. Why pay California taxes and deal with Stockton's crime rate if you don't have to drive to San Francisco? Middle-class families are bypassing Stockton entirely, heading for Nevada or Texas, leaving the city with high costs, low wages, and an identity crisis that is emptying out its suburbs. At number 7, we have the city that admitted defeat, Youngstown, Ohio. Youngstown is famous among urban planners for its smart shrinkage plan. They realized they couldn't save the whole city, so they started amputating parts of it. In 2026, this plan is in full effect. The city is actively demolishing entire neighborhoods, tearing up roads and cutting off utilities to consolidate the remaining population into a smaller core. It's a survival tactic, but the result is visually haunting. You can drive for blocks in Youngstown and see nothing but grass where thousands of families once lived. It is a planned ghost town. Just across the river from Missouri lies number 6, East St. Louis, Illinois. If you want to see what happens when industry leaves and never returns, look here. With a poverty rate hovering near 40%, the tax base here has completely collapsed. This isn't just about people moving away, it's about the erasure of the city itself. By 2026, vast areas of East St. Louis have effectively returned to the wild. The population has dropped so low that the city struggles to maintain basic fire and police services. It is a stark, tragic monument to American deindustrialization, standing silent in the shadow of the Gateway Arch. Number 5 is a victim of a different kind of force: Mother Nature. Lake Charles, Louisiana has been battered by back-to-back hurricanes and deep freezes, and the residents here aren't just tired, they are financially broken. In 2026, the biggest driver of the exodus isn't the wind, it's the insurance bill. Home insurance premiums here have tripled or vanished entirely. You cannot get a mortgage without insurance, which has rendered thousands of homes unsellable. People are simply walking away from their properties, migrating inland to avoid the next storm season. Lake Charles is becoming a ghost town by necessity, not by choice. We cross the river again to reach number 4, St. Louis, Missouri. But here, the ghost town isn't in the suburbs, it's vertical. St. Louis is the epicenter of the urban doom loop. Downtown office vacancy rates have hit historic highs. In 2026, with remote work permanent for many, the skyscrapers are standing empty. This is known as the donut effect. The suburbs are surviving, but the center is hollowing out. Without office workers buying lunch or parking cars, the downtown economy evaporates. After 5 p.m., the city center of St. Louis feels like a movie set where the actors have all gone home. At number 3, we have a crisis of trust in Jackson, Mississippi. A modern city cannot survive without water. Following the catastrophic infrastructure failures that left residents without safe drinking water for weeks, the exodus from Jackson accelerated into a sprint. It's not just white flight anymore, it's anyone who can afford to leave flight. The tax base has eroded so severely that the city cannot afford to fix the pipes beneath the streets. It is a vicious cycle. In 2026, Jackson is fighting a losing battle to keep its lights on and its water running, leaving behind a city of crumbling infrastructure. For decades, our number 2 city, Gary, Indiana, was the steel capital of the world. Today, it is the world capital of abandoned buildings. Gary has lost over 60% of its peak population. The issue here is the zombie property crisis. There are thousands of homes in Gary that cost more to demolish than the land beneath them is worth. Despite being just miles from booming Chicago, Gary remains a ghost town. In 2026, the city struggles to find anyone willing to invest in these neighborhoods. It is a city haunted by its own history. And finally, at number 1, we have the most complex story on our list, Detroit, Michigan. Now, you've heard about the Detroit Renaissance, and it's true, Detroit downtown is coming back, but the city is massive. Outside that small, bubbly core, there are 130 square miles of neighborhoods that are emptying out. We're talking about tens of thousands of vacant lots. In 2026, Detroit is a tale of 2 cities, a thriving center surrounded by a ring of silence. The scale of abandonment here is unlike anywhere else in the developed world. You can fit San Francisco, Boston, and Manhattan inside Detroit's footprint, yet large parts of the outer ring remain a ghost town, waiting for a future that hasn't arrived. These cities aren't just points on a map, they're warnings. They show us what happens when economies shift, climates change, and infrastructure fails. But they're also homes. For the people who stay, the fight to save their community continues against overwhelming odds. What do you think lies ahead for these struggling communities? Can they reinvent themselves for a new era, or are we witnessing the permanent twilight of the American industrial age? Let us know which story shocked you the most in the comments below. If you want to explore more hidden geography and the stories behind the maps, make sure to hit that subscribe button for Tourgraphy. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next tour.